that we need to continue to stand strong to defend everybody's rights and freedoms.
Hey, kitty. So, I was up most of the night, you know that, eh? Yeah. Yeah, I watched that that press conference yesterday with where they released 4 names from foreign interference, and went to go to bed, and something kept ringing in my head and ringing in my head and ringing in my head. So I had to get back up, and about 1:30 in the morning I just couldn't get back to sleep, and I got back up, decided to do some research. Yeah, I was up most of the night there. I stayed up till almost 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know if I want to release this information because it is a little speculative. So put your tinfoil hat on. I'm gonna just give you the information. You come to your own conclusion on what I'm gonna show to you or explain to you, whatever. I'm not a believer in coincidences, especially when it comes to the government. Nothing is done by coincidence when it comes to government. And I've come across a lot of coincidences that really ring a lot of bells in my head. So they released the 4 names, and everybody's talking about there's 3 liberals and 1 conservative in these names. Well, in total now we have 5 out of 11 names, and 4 out of the 5 are/were liberals, and 1 was a conservative. But anyway, I'm sure there's, yeah, whatever. But coincidence, it's kind of funny, you know. Yesterday when I was when this press conference was released, I was going through Bellevue and Crow's Nest as the press conference was being released. And I speak of coincidences, I want to tell you the story of a man from Crow's Nest. Yeah. He started off his career as an Ontario field coordinator for the Gerald Kennedy campaign. Then he turned into, and that was back in 2006. Ontario Liberal, well, he was going for the federal Liberal leadership race. He was just a campaign organizer / person. Coordinated Ontario campaign organizations for federal Liberal leadership race, including membership recruitment and delegate identification and election stakeholder relations and leadership convention strategy. Okay, if you understand all that, it just means he was campaign manager or one of the campaign directors. And that was in 2006. And that date will be important in a few minutes here. That's the day, actually, I'll tell you now, what the heck. That's the day, or those are the dates when he met Katie Telford, the Prime Minister's chief of staff. We'll get to that in a minute. So he helped Kennedy run for the office in 2008, but he was also working for another company at that time, General Motors. And his job in General Motors, what was it? Analysis corporate affairs. support government relations activities for policies, legislative, and regulatory initiatives, including advocacy to support the introduction of electric vehicles. So when he worked for GM, that was his goal, was to get the government to give GM money. What happened in 2009? He was there from 2007, in that role from 2007 to 2010. What happened in 2009? The government gave them what, $60 million or something like that? Yeah. Yeah. In 2011, he was promoted to government relations manager, managing GM's Canadian government relations with policies, responsibilities for business competitiveness, new investments, custom border policies, taxation, international trade, restructuring commitments, central corporate coordinator and compliance with all requirements related to government funding, including repayable loans from 1987 to 2005, as well as 2008 and 9 restructuring assistance. That's the $60 billion. He's the one who helped coordinate that. Yeah. Interesting. So anyway, he stayed with GM for almost 13 years. And then in 2017, he became the campaign manager for the Mary Ng federal by-election. And that's where I'm going to stop for a second, because that's where the bell rang in my head. Not that. In the conversation, or the press conference, the reporter said that CISA said Mary Ng was an unwitting participant in foreign interference. And everybody's saying, well, how can you be unwitting? So you've sent your staffer to go talk to this diplomat from the Chinese consulate. How can that be unwitting? That's what everybody's stuck on. They're stuck on Mary Ng. I'm sorry. Mary Ng may very well have been unwitting, but I think her staff may have been doing this for other relations. Let me get into that in a second here. So he became chief of staff 1 month after he became the campaign manager. And he was her chief of staff for 5 years. 5 years. Yeah. You see, he's resigned now. He resigned from Mary Ng's chief of staff position. And let me read what he wrote in a letter just the other day. Yesterday marked my last day, not the other day, sorry, a year ago. Yesterday marked my last day as Chief of Staff for the Honorable Mary Ng. It has been an immense honor and privilege to serve in this role. I have always said, to do justice to the job, I had to be able to give 100% of my energy, 100% of my time. So after 5 years, this incredible partnership with Minister Ng, it's time for me to move on and pass the baton. Today, Minister Ng welcomes Kevin Kuhn as her new Chief of Staff. Now that sounds so, not a big deal. It's just, he's moving on. There's a problem with that. You see, September 11th of 2023 is the day Justin Trudeau finally relented and decided to open a public inquiry into the foreign interference scandal. We're gonna have a car go by here. Just give me a minute. You see, his resignation came in exactly 1 week later on September 18th. Coincidental, 100%. Like I said, coincidences. I'm gonna show you a bunch of them. Coincidences don't happen in government. Governments don't do coincidences. So, but this is a coincidence. Okay? You see, he also stated, what's next? In the same letter. He says, so what's next? I'm grateful to all who have reached out to ask that question. First up is some time off. As I opened with these jobs, take an incredible amount of energy and I need a break. I look forward to spending some time with my family. You know, like all liberals, apparently they're working 48 hours a day. I think I already did a video about that. Biking and trying to keep up with my son Logan and familiarizing myself with my phone's do not disturb setting. Yeah, so he's going to take some time off. That's fair, you know. The guy's been working in politics for 5 years, chief of staff, responsible for all the staff under him and organizing Mary Ng's calendar and appointments and everything else. The point of contact for everybody under Mary Ng was this gentleman, Jason Easton. Jason Easton. Here, let me show you. Jason Easton. So, the thing is, he did go on to say what he was going to do after that. And this is the part that really rung out to me as coincidence. After that, I'll be back and ready to roll up my sleeves in a new way, as I have accepted a position in the Prime Minister's office with great humility and a ton of respect. I'm looking forward to continuing to work to make life better for Canadians. In the Prime Minister's office. So, he's going to take a little bit of time off, you know, and then he's being promoted into the Prime Minister's office. Okay? Interesting. You know, Mary Ng's office has been under investigation since the 2019 election. He was chief of staff then. He was responsible for all the staff underneath him and for organizing Mary Ng's yeah, I just went over that. Never mind. Here's another little article. Local man heads to the Prime Minister's office. And this is the important part. Like I said, coincidences aren't a thing. Easton's path from the Crow's Nest Pass to the federal government officially began on October 23rd, 2024. This whole article about him going to the federal government, they dropped Mary Ng. He's worked in there for 5 years. Not one word about it. The whole article. The Pass Herald, I think it's called. You can see it right there. Pass Herald. Yeah. So, how come they dropped the Mary Ng part and said that he's going to the federal government on October 23rd, 2024? How many people you know take time off in between jobs, and that time off consists of 13 months. I don't know too many. Might take a month off. Maybe even 2. Hell, I'll even give you 3. But you don't go from one job knowing what the next job is a year earlier and waiting 13 months before actually taking the position. Now, why would it take until October 23rd, just last week? Speaking of coincidences, you know, 1 week before that press conference. Coincidences don't happen in government. Not this many. Why would they wait until October 23rd to hire him on? What happened on October 24th? Just last week. If you remember correctly, that was the last day of the foreign interference inquiry. That was the last day. So one day after he gets hired into the Prime Minister's office, he wasn't under suspicion because he didn't work for the government in the last year. So there's no suspicion there. While Mary Ng's staff is under suspicion by CSIS for having contacts with the Chinese diplomat. I tell you why. It's all the way back to 2006. Katie Telford. So, Trudeau says Pierre Poilievre should get the security clearance, sign the NDA so that he can't speak about it. And when questioned, saying, well, if he can't speak about it, how's he going to actually do anything with that information? Trudeau says, well, as a leader of a party, you have a lot of control. You can decide who gets what position. You can decide who can run for the party. You can decide who works in your office. And you don't have to tell them why you're saying no, because in the back of your mind, you know why. Mary Ng has been under investigation since 2019, and Trudeau knew about it, for staffers meeting up with Chinese diplomats. Then he hires Mary Ng's chief of staff to his office. So now, is his office, is this why there's been this huge hush-up? I'm sorry. Government don't work in coincidences. Trudeau, you want this to go away because you know damn well that foreign interference just walked in your door. You hired them. Welcome to the Fringe.